Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, Episode 7, The Excellent Adventures of Mack and the D, which, yeah, I knew that was the title, something like that, even with the last episode, and given that they've been stranded in the 80s, I think it is. I've seen people talking about the 80s, I have tried not to look too far, I just know it's the 80s, and I have the impression from that title, and what I've seen, that this is going to be a very crazy episode, and I am really looking forward to it. Do not get me wrong, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. S.H.I.E.L.D. is able to do these crazy episodes brilliantly. You know, one of my absolute favourite, definitely one of my favourite episodes of last season, if not of the show, was the episode when they were on Kitson and they were drunk and like it was all just and high. It was ridiculous and I loved it. My slight bit of like sadness is that I have the impression that this episode is going to be just Mack and Deke and not everyone else, which if we had more seasons to come I would be here for it. You know, like I love the episode with Simmons, obviously I love the episode we saw Fitz's rewind. You know, like seeing characters on their own is so much fun, and I think these two are going to have a really interesting dynamic together. I'm just a little bit sad because after this there's what, like 5 episodes left? So this is 7, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is 6 episodes left after this. So we're losing an episode of Daisy and May and Coulson and Gemma and Yo-Yo, and I don't want to. I want them all in it all the time. But I'm also very much looking forward to this because it is going to be mental. And I have no idea what's going to happen beyond the fact that I've seen, I know in Elizabeth Henstridge's live watch-along thing she does on YouTube, Jeff Ward was like really pumped about it, so I'm scared. So yeah, anyway, I don't want to wait longer, let's go. If you want to watch this unedited, please check out my Patreon. I'm going to be starting some new shows that will go there first, unedited, and then they'll come to YouTube at some point. And I'll be doing a poll about one of those soon for patrons to see if they want to vote for, and you can sponsor shows. But the main thing is you can see these episodes unedited if you would like to. So yeah, I'm very excited for this episode. I'm a little bit sad because I want to see the whole team. We're running out of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that makes me sad as it is, but I'm very excited for the mentalness that I'm sure is coming in this episode.
Agent Shaw, I want a full report.
Ooh.
What happened? Start from the beginning.
This implies they get back to everyone, which is good. What is happening? Not ominous at all.
Who are you?
Oh my goodness, Sybil. I love it. Oh. Deke looks tiny.
Then why would we pit stop in 82 for all of 5
Exactly, you haven't won yet, sweetie. Although Mack is not in a good mental space right now. But I mean, he was meant to have died 2 years ago, so.
It's early too. Okay. And I still think about it every day.
Oh, sweetheart.
If you want to talk.
Both of them that applies to. You can't just abandon each other. You're all you have in this time. Oh god. I thought this was gonna, I mean, at some point they're gonna have to unite. Oh, he doesn't, but he doesn't understand. Mack. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry, okay? Should have stayed with Deke and got lots of hugs. So someone's looking out for them. Oh, they're doing alright. They're not... They've lost their parents, so they're never going to be fully okay, but they are doing okay.
As I have always been.
Oh god. Oh god, as I've always been. That's an episode title too. Russell, this is a terrible idea, okay? Truly terrible idea. Oh, he found him.
Aren't you a sight for beautiful eyes? It's been too long. Figured I had to just...
How long has it been? How long has it been?
It seems you've gone full. I thought maybe you'd want to kick the ball around.
Oh god.
Fresh air or something.
Deke.
Oh. Think you accidentally threw it out.
He's gonna shut the door behind you, Deke. Deke. I mean, Deke is trying to be there for him in his strange Deke way. Mack, this isn't healthy. Oh, I love Deke for trying. Mack is not doing well. Because he's lost his parents and he's lost Yo-Yo and the whole team and... Oh, Deke. What is Deke up to in this time? Deke cares. I was expecting a fun episode. How was Mack paying for any of this? Oh dear, oh dear. She's probably going to murder you. Oh dear. Oh dear. Not good.
Trying to be funny. The band just came out for the encore.
So Deke's doing alright for himself, as always. Deke always manages to find a way to land on his feet.
My name is Deke Shaw,
Oh dear.
and I wrote this song.
Oh god. Oh my god, Deke, everything he does is stolen.
A band?
I said you wouldn't believe me.
More like would wanna like scream at you. I'm with you, Matt. I love the dancing. This is more what I was expecting from this episode. Oh dear, that was brilliant.
Get on home, complete the journey.
Oh, you needed this hug earlier.
Steal something from the future, and you pretend you created it.
Oh, let's not bicker over whether or not those are
Deke,
actually
sweetheart.
They're not.
I mean, he was left alone to try and figure out how the hell to cope and survive. Again.
Sales have been killing it. This isn't a cover band. The band is a cover. Director. I want
Oh
to
my
do
god.
this with Deke Squad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that was before I found out he had a steady job.
Doing what?
Oh god.
Coke. Although, I've never seen him drink any.
Look, I appreciate that.
Oh my god, Deke thinks it's Coke, like Pepsi, Diet Coke.
Be this high Coke.
No follow.
I love Deke so much.
Your friends
Oh.
are a long way.
We need
Well, at least
a leader.
Deke, I'm proud of Deke,
Especially with all the
because
chatter we've been
with his limited understanding of life and how to act, he's done a pretty good job.
Didn't.
Oh god.
Yes, you did.
Coulson seemed fine with it.
What?
He's alive.
He'd improvise.
Coulson would not enjoy being a TV. Oh, hey sweetie.
Not a bunch of ones and zeros trapped in a digital hell? I'd like to think so. But
Oh.
admittedly, there's been some real soul searching here.
Yeah, there would be. He was struggling enough being an LMD.
So humble.
I think Sybil's building new hunters.
I mean, 1980s Terminator styles.
Interesting place.
Oh my goodness. Are you seriously just going to give the robot weapons? Okay. I do love the 80s movie
See
vibes.
you, Mac. I know this last year hasn't been easy for you.
Seems I'm not the only
I really want to show him what we can do.
What nonsense is this going to be? I mean, it's training of a sort.
Deke really needs to fire that drummer.
Okay.
Oh. Zeke is trying his
Designed it
best.
myself, Les.
I'm not your director.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, Coulson said you.
The same old patterns. You build something out of a lie, you pretend it's yours, then you surround yourself with a bunch of sycophants.
They aren't sycophants. They have my back. And they won't
I do think it's very similar to what Deke does, but he's trying to do the right thing.
I didn't ask for that.
It's what family
have
does.
to.
Oh no. Is they gonna be the first to die? Killer robots! Max, these are proper killer robots like Max terrified of.
Cute.
It is quite cute.
Oh, what's your name, sweetie?
You're gonna be murdered. Very 80s horror movie-ish.
And did he have you pegged wrong?
I'm sorry to disappoint.
He's just in a terrible place.
Deke checks in on him every couple
Oh.
weeks. Brings him and his brother school
Oh.
supplies. toys.
Oh my goodness. Run, run, run. Killer robots, run. I like you, lady. Run.
Not again.
Yeah, not again. Killer robots.
A fraud.
With Shion, you were really growing, my love. God, this is so 80s, like, over the top blood. I love it.
I think it's
Good job, team. Good job, team.
it came back.
This is so like a movie, you know, the beginning and then,
Left.
yep. This whole bit is just like one of these ridiculous 80s movies, which I love because it's Deke telling the story, so it's a little bit overdramatic. The turning point of the movie. Is he really taking the time to deal with his beard? Oh my god, I love that he gave him a suit where you can see his arms. I think if we heard Mac's version of this story, it would be somewhat different.
Where they went.
I have a theory.
Dawson!
I'd like to be included in the planning circle first. Feeling really left out here.
Yeah.
The tools.
Ooh.
The time stream must be here on the base.
Ooh. That is interesting. Oh my gosh, the ridiculous roll.
Looks like more metal for the scrap heap.
What even is happening? Olga's gonna die. Oh dear.
Agent Shaw, can you create a distraction?
Yes, that is Deke's specialty.
Oh, this Peter Pan's an attention-grabbing son of a bitch.
Nice work, dude.
Oh, you called him Deke.
Mac Daddy.
Oh dear.
Roger that.
There's something you and I need to take care of.
Oh, what? Oh, baby
Last
Mac.
semester you got straight A's.
How are Ruben and I doing with,
Oh.
you know,
And I think that you and Ruben are even closer in this timeline.
Hmm. Oh, give him a hug, please.
Remember, you're just a friend from my band, okay?
Oh god.
but what instrument do I play?
I don't know. I
Oh, he's
think
spying
maybe
into Deke's craziness.
harmonica?
Zephyr? Are they back in the 80s? I'm glad the team's back.
Mack's okay. We have his location.
Hmm.
Okay and alive are two very different things.
He's getting there.
Nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, they're here. Oh,
I'm getting better.
he is. He's been through the awful slog of the grief.
Good to see you, Deke. Said it was our most important asset. I might even agree with her.
Did she mention anything about...
Building you a new body?
Yeah.
You just have to wait and see.
That's cold, man.
Yeah,
Keep it
it's...
for you.
Oh no! This bloody little robot. Oh my god! Did it catch a train? How has it lasted this long? No, I object. No.
You now have the one tool necessary to control your
No.
future.
Well, lucky me.
Die.
Aren't you just
Die
a
painfully.
sex digital lady?
I'm confident we'll make a perfect pair.
I'm confident you'll die together. Oh, the master was dead by his own hubris and now I'm angry. Okay, so I really enjoyed that episode. I think in some ways I'd hyped up that it was going to be even crazier than that, so I kind of was a little bit like let down by it, but I really loved it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I would probably say it's my least favourite episode of the season so far, but given that I have loved every episode of the season, then it's not a bad thing. I really enjoyed the fact that we got to delve into Mack's grief. Now, obviously that's hard to watch, but I think, you know, realistically losing your parents and losing them like that is going to be something that takes a very long time to get to a place where you're even vaguely emotionally okay. And so I guess having this episode where Mack was out of the action for like a year and, well, was it 20 months? Makes sense because he's got to that place where he's beginning to heal from it and he's never going to be fully okay because you can never, losing someone you're never okay from. But I'm glad we got that. I hated to see that he went through it alone, but I think it was important at the retrospectively to know that Deke had been there for him. That not only had Deke been looking out for Big Mac, he'd been looking out for Little Mac and his brother. You know, he'd been there for him the whole time. I think in some ways with his healing, knowing that even when he was feeling the worst amount of being alone, he did have Deke is good. And like I said during the reaction, I don't know if I cut it out or left it in, I think the fact that if it had been almost anyone else on the team, Mack might have been able to be a bit more emotional with them and not push them away, or would have relented and let them in sooner, but he and Deke aren't that close. Like, they are family because his team is a family, but Deke is still quite fresh on the team, and because he spent a lot of the last couple of seasons being very separate from the team, he hasn't got the strength of the bonds, but I think hopefully going forwards now they will. Obviously this was Deke debriefing, so I'm guessing that's why it was quite as crazy and 80s movie as it was, but I'm hoping that they are going to have a real bond going forwards, and that's going to be only helpful for Deke's character. And you know, Deke, okay sure, he made a crazy band and he stole songs and he recruited people that, you know, no one else would have recruited, but his heart was in the right place for once. And even that, like, I think when Deke like created his company and everything, you know, he kind of was just trying to do what he knew, and he knew that money makes you safe. Like, if he had a lot of tokens or whatever it was I think they had in the future, you were safe. So kind of that, I can understand why Deke did that, and understanding why Deke made the choices he made now. They were very Deke choices, but they were Deke attempting to do the right thing. And, you know, Mack wasn't in a place to be there, to look out for them, to look out to try and stop the Chronicles, and so Deke tried to step up for it, and I love that. I love that we got Coulson this episode. I really thought it was just going to be Mack and Deke, so getting like a little TV Coulson was a bonus. And, you know, seeing May for a bit, and at the end we got to see Simmons briefly, and Yo-Yo and Mack reuniting. Now my Daisy heart is very sad because, you know, this season we had 13 episodes of Daisy, and now there are only going to be 12 episodes that even have Daisy in it. I would have taken a sweeping shot of her still in the healing pod. You know, I would have taken her just, you know, standing next to Simmons, nodding while they sent them off. You know, I'd have taken anything, but, you know, it's fine. I'm not genuinely cross with that or anything. I'm just more like, I was clinging on to how many episodes there were left of Daisy, and there was one less than I thought there were, which makes me a sad person. But I enjoy this, like, the team and everything. It was very fun in the sense of it being like an 80s movie. Given it's only a 13 episode season, I'm a bit like, why did we spend an episode like that? But then I'm also like, it was a good episode, and it gave a lot of fun for Deke, and it kind of helped, I guess, help progress his character a little bit, even though in some ways he regressed a bit, but I think he was also stepping forward, and Mack got through the awful grief, the worst of it, and he kind of got confirmation that young Mack and his brother are okay. They're never going to be like they were, they're never going to have the life they had because their parents are dead, but they have someone that cares for them, that looks out for them. They've got each other, they're going to be okay, and that is what is most important. Overall, I think it is interesting that Sybil was on the ship. I thought she was like somewhere else, but I guess the only reason she did explode in the explosion. But she will end up getting her own body, and Nathaniel Malik is alive. I was kind of concerned he might be, because obviously, like, just some rubble fell on him, and then Sousa understandably got out of town. You know, there were more pressing things than just making sure he was dead. But I'm also like, at least maybe now Daisy can finally get, you know, justice on him. Maybe Daisy can be the one that is his end, or at least his imprisonment. I am concerned about whether or not her powers took. Like, does he have them? Obviously they were breaking his bones apart and quaking, and then the roof collapsed on him. Did the Chronicom save him? Did Sybil help save him? Or did he heal? I mean, when Daisy first got her powers, she was directing them inwards and causing bone fractures and things, and then she needed the gauntlets in order to use her powers, whereas now she's pretty much able to just blast and do whatever she wants, and it doesn't cause her any injury. So is it a case of he just had to, it took his body, it was harder on his body to begin with because it wasn't an inhuman body? If he has Daisy's powers, I need him to die next episode. And I want him to die next episode anyway. I hate that he's still alive. I mean, the actor is doing a brilliant job because I loathe him so much. So yeah, in some ways it's good because I feel like Daisy's going to be able to, you know, like, get justice on him, but also the concept of him dying by his own hubris was beautiful to me. So if he could still die by quaking something and it causes an earthquake to fall on his head, I'm okay with that one as well. I did not appreciate that ending. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I think it's still building up to be really, really good. We've hit the 80s, so we've kind of then got like 90s, thousands, and then Shield time. So I don't know how much more of a season am I going to spend jumping through time. At which point, I know there's an episode that's called As I Have Always Been, which is a very Chronicom saying, is that going to be the last one where we deal with this sort of threat, and are we going to have a different threat? But yeah, I'm really enjoying this season. I am very excited to see where it goes next. I'm very excited to see Daisy because a whole episode without her is a bit much for my soul. But yeah, this was a good episode. If you want to check out my unedited reaction, go to my Patreon, and yes, thank you very much for watching.